Well, let's get you the very latest on those protests in Russia. We can cross live. France 24's Theo Mertz is standing by Moscow. Theo, we've been looking at photos there. These are, of course, nationwide protests being held today. You were there in Moscow. I mean, talk us through what you saw, Theo.
Well, Pushkin Square, one of the main squares in Moscow, is absolutely packed. Walking around from there, many of the streets leading up to the square packed as well. Russian police say there are only around 4,000 people there, but media, including Reuters, are saying tens of thousands of people. There was a very heavy-handed response from police, as we predicted there was going to be. I saw batons being used on protesters. Police were clearing out the square and the streets around the square by force. I saw people with injuries being taken out of the crowd, with blood pouring down their heads. So there certainly was some violence there. And as authorities have been warning for days, there were arrests because, as they have been saying, these are illegal protests. We know that at least 1,000 people have been arrested at these demonstrations across Russia, probably many more. So that's what we've seen today. These protests have largely ended now, although some smaller demonstrations are ongoing, and there are likely to be more arrests and more arrests reported.
I mean, Theo, last Sunday we saw images of Navalny being arrested as he, after he got off the plane in Moscow. He's currently still behind bars after being detained. Talk us through how he's managing to rally such support despite that fact.
Well, Navalny's been a political force in Russia for almost 10 years. He's never held an official position, but in that time he's built up a network of supporters, a network of offices all across the country. He's built up a large following on social media, mainly through anti-corruption or corruption investigations such as the one you mentioned in your report just now. So he has this big network of supporters, sympathisers to call on in situations like these, and he believes he has the clout to go up against the Russian state and perhaps get them to change their minds about the arrest. So despite being in prison, he is able to influence these protests outside, and it remains to be seen whether they will have the effect that he desires.
All right, Theo, keeping us up to date on those nationwide protests in support of Alexei Navalny. From Moscow, Theo, thank you.